Shalom, shalom to everyone watching. This is Rabbi Moshe Otero with the Ways of Israel. A couple of people have been sending me pieces and parts of Mr. Schwab's book, The Great Reset. And to be very honest with you, it's disgusting what I've read so far. And I mean disgusting in the sense of it's really an attack to the survival of the human race, what these individuals are proposing in the book, The Great Reset. Should be perhaps called something else, perhaps the Great Murder or the Great slaughter of the New World Order against all human life. Some of the proposals that is mentioned there, they have as a target to accomplish a great number of these goals by 2030, some to 2050. But what takes me back is the level of complete lack of concern over the life of human beings. Obviously, according to the proposal, the actual population increase that they see it is a big danger for the order they wish to set upon the earth. And obviously, anyone have written this back in the 40s, they would have said this is nothing different than the Nazi Mein Kampf, or the idea of a struggle to conquer the world. And that, my friends, is what the Great Reset is all about. Don't think for one moment that this is a book about a great ideal of the new human race that will take place. No, it's not. Talks about systematically eliminating human lives on the face of the earth by war, by planned epidemics or pandemics, by planned murder and elimination of society through contaminating the food supply, the water supply, all means possible. Anyone who hasn't at least gone through the book, at least just to read over the basic ideas of this man, you would not come back and say this is a normal mindset. Just the opposite. You would say this guy's a murderer, he's a sicko, he's a pathological, egotistical and maniac that should be stopped before his ideals become realized. Now, in this medium, which is also very much controlled for anything they may come out to as a threat of violence or a threat of an order, is something very, very touchy, because we know that even the owner of this media happens to be a paying member of the NWO. And so what I'm going to propose is the question in the Jewish frame mind is that of the rule of a rodef. What is a rodef, you may ask? Well, many rabbis are aware of it, and of course many rabbis will say that rule of law doesn't really apply in today's contemporary situation. I would probably argue with that and say, no, not true. We are having a situation in this world very similar to what took place in Nazi Germany. And if we do not take seriously the threat, we may be in a situation that will be too late to be able to then fight after the threat is realized. Now, this guy Schwab is the figurehead of this New World Order, but he's not alone in this. Just to get into his society, you have to be a multi-billionaire to be part of his society. As a matter of fact, I shared with all of you a video of a multi-millionaire who applied to get in. He was rejected. He was a rejected boy. He wanted to be part of the new order, the new society. I read parts and pieces of the book, and the whole idea of a group of billionaires dictating everyone what they're going to do, you like it or not, is coming mentality is completely the very, very heart and center of chutzpah, of egomaniacs. And let me take it one step further. I think, and this is my opinion, I think every single person who reads the book should consider the New World Order a true and realistic threat upon human life. They're talking about eliminating life like you know it. And they're doing it. Those of you who think that the New World Order had nothing to do with the pandemics, with the series of infections that's going around, you need to take a look exactly how they're playing their part. Very, very organized, in an organized way. They're looking basically to create a genocide at the level that we have never seen in this world. It would make German genocide small in comparison. We're talking about millions. And we know the records already that just these past 2 years, over 1.5 million people basically lost their lives as a result of the pandemic. And I do not think for one iota this is just, something that nature brought upon us. This was something that was manipulated. It was created under the laboratories, and it was used in a way as a biochemical weaponry to eliminate over 1.2 million people. And growing still. It hasn't ended. Now, who's behind all of this? No, this has nothing to do with conspiracy, my friends. Nothing to do with conspiracies. It has to do with information that is so there, so present. You just need to look at what they're doing and realize that our threat is coming from this group of people that is well connected in all governments of the world, including Canada. Canada's little cute boy over there is part of the system of the NWO. And the NWO has nothing nice planned for humanity, just the opposite. Although they come in the name of being nice, it's just completely the opposite. Please, I would encourage every God-fearer, every believer in God to realize and try to read this book. This book is basically your death sentence. This is what they're planning to do to you. No, it has nothing to do with life. It only has to do with life of those who are on the upper elite levels. And therefore, this book makes Mein Kampf very, very soft, to say the least. This book, The Great Reset, means that they're going to remove everyone that they consider a burden upon their billions. So when you read things like how these billionaires are acquiring land to be able to create farming land, they're doing so in order to be able to manipulate the food chain to create poison so when people eat it, they die earlier. I mean, you really have to read this book to understand the mindset. I came and I realized, you can't initiate certain things because they're going to take you off the screen. But people like Zuckerberg, who knows exactly what's going on behind the scenes, realize that what's happening is an ugly situation that's going to put his company, his life, also in the same predicament as the rest of the resetters. What am I talking about? We're talking about global genocide is what Schwab and his Goonies are talking about. Now, anyone taking notes, serious notes of what's happening there, would realize that one of the things that Israel has always done was to preemptively strike when the life of the nation was in danger. Preemptively strike at those who wish to remove their life. Well, let me say this to the leaders of Israel, to the leaders of any nation that believes in one God, and that realize that this plan that the NWO has is on the level of global genocide, keeping themselves in the rule and rank of power. You need to realize something must be done to remove this power quickly. And quickly enough to be able to stop the threat. This threat will make any type of nuclear threat that comes from Iran completely incomparable. I started reading this, And I started realizing this is exactly what this world is heading to. Complete global domination of a group of people that wants to kill you. They want to destroy you. They want your existence not to be. And so they created a system of creating turmoil, social unrest in every nation of the world. Yes, some of the people behind the scenes. Yes, are the Schwabs. Yes, are the Hararis. Yes, are the big old money that has created the problems in this country. And what I'm going to say is going to sound really, really crazy, but in the rules and laws of a rodef, the rules in Jewish law of a rodef is when a person is going to come and kill you, you have the obligation, the moral right to eliminate those or that rodef, that person coming to snuff your life out. My friends, the NWO is planning to snuff out the life and vitality and productivity of millions, if not billions of people in and through their declared presentation of the Great Reset. Now, there's some people who will say, well, you can't advocate violence. You can't advocate on these type of medias this type of action. But if you listen to what they're saying, they're telling you in a very clear and cut way, we're out to eliminate the population of the world. What is that? If that is not a threat of violence, if that is not a threat of imminent danger and death to human beings living on the face of the earth, what is it? It is seeking for the destruction of humanity as we know it today. So I strongly hold and believe firmly that unless we, God-believing people, don't come together, God-believing people that realizes that life is precious, that all human life is precious, and come to an agreement to be able to fight this great evil that has made its declaration of war against humanity and act in the very defense of human life, then what worth is our faith in God, and what worth is it to defend ourselves from those who wish to annihilate us, to destroy us, to liquidate us from the very face of the earth in a very organized, substantial, and cold way, like the NWO is proposing in the Great Reset. You will own nothing and be happy. This is their motto. Why? You will own nothing because they will remove anything that has to do with ownership. It will make you feel that you are sustained until they said enough. Reminds me of the movie I saw last night that, Jews, took place during Auschwitz, and Jews were walking into the gas chambers not knowing it was the gas chamber. And the Germans would tell the Jews walking in there, no, you're taking a shower, leave your clothes here on the side, you'll pick it up on the other side. It was a lie to be able to create a trusting environment. But when they went through that door, the lights went out and the gas began to wreak havoc, and the screaming and the yelling could not be heard very far because it was a closed building, and you hear the darkness, and later you see the bodies dropped like it was no tomorrow, and piles and piles and piles of dead bodies. This, my friend, is what the NWO is proposing, but in a very sick and awful way. It will make Germany, Nazi Germany, seem very petty. Keep in mind who's behind this. It's a German gentleman named Schwab, whose life and existence lived during the era of the Nazi Germany. My friend, this man has no good intention. Neither does he have, nor those with him, the idea of making the world a better place. It's just the opposite. Their plans are Machiavellic, evil, diabolical. And these are the same people that are dragging us into all of these wars because they need to depopulate the earth. It says it very clearly in their statements. In the literature of the Great Reset, I think the greatest indictment against this organization is the book, The Great Reset. It tells you their plan. It tells you what they want to do by certain timelines. And if you don't think, or if you think they haven't accomplished a lot of it, please read the book. I don't want you to buy even $1 that can go and contribute to this organization. Not even $1. Look at it. Do a piracy of it. But you have to read what's in the mind, the evil intention of these people. If we don't speak up now, it'll be too late to speak up later. And I strongly believe that the laws of Rodefim, which means a pursuer that's after you to kill you, must be applied to this organization and the people that make part of this organization. If you want to call it that, you know, my fellow Jews, what I'm speaking about is very clear. Again, a lot of you don't advocate violence, but I'm saying the following. We need to protect ourselves and do a preemptive action before this becomes even greater in power and influence. These are people who are billionaires. They're not afraid to use their influence and power to be able to kill you, to destroy you, and harm you throughout all your ways. So what this is a call to, it's more than just a call of waking up and realizing that something awful is around the corner. Something more greater than that. It's greater than me. It's greater than you. It's greater than even the current nations that are planning to be able to do this. It is something very, very evil that we're seeing coming upon us, and it's dangerous. Very, very dangerous, my friends. And we need to realize that this is right coming upon us. And if we do not act now, when will we act? Before another Holocaust? Before another extermination of human lives throughout the world greater that we've seen with this pandemic? Should we be alarmed? Absolutely. More than alarmed, we should be calling and planning and doing action to be able to stop these members of the NWO. If you don't do it now, it's going to be too late, and you will not be able to act in response to preserving life on the face of the planet. By the Great Reset, if you have to. I'm not for contributing one iota to this evil organization. But to be honest with you, action like that that the Israelis did to Iraq to be able to save the lives of thousands of Israelis is now looming regarding the NWO and all human life. Don't think for one iota that they will not achieve or try to achieve their goals. They have infiltrated in every single nation of the world, in every single political system that we have here. They tried it. They even tried doing it with Trump. They invited him over there to Navos in order to influence to see if he would be jumping on board, and he did not. This is why I'm voting for this man. But imagine how many politicians have succumbed to the offer. We know Biden did, because Biden is one of these New World Order guy, just like Obama and just like a bunch of other Democrats who are in favor. But we cannot continue closing our eyes and not think for one iota that their agenda to euthanize as many human beings possible is part of their plan. Please read their book. When you start reading their book and sharing it with others, you'll start realizing that what they're talking about is complete lunacy. It becomes incumbent upon all human beings that whoever find these individuals, I'm probably going to be booted out of this, find these individuals, do to them what they desire to do to all humanity. That is the law of a Rodef. The law of Rodef in Jewish terms means, in a simple terms, If you know that your enemy or someone is conspiring to kill you, we're talking about actual proof. The Great Reset is just that, the proof. The proof of their intentions, their evil intentions to snuff you out. You have every obligation to snuff them out before they snuff you out. Now, these are powerful words, but this may be even removed because of my words. But I hope and pray that many of you would listen to this, because this may be the final time that I will be able to say this before this whole entire system begins to go forward in their attempt to remove life upon the face of the earth in such a level that only a couple of millions of people would be still on earth, and most of these, they plan, will be themselves. They're going to grab your money, they're going to grab your property, they're going to grab anything that they can take from you, just like they did in Nazi Germany. They stripped the individuals before they went into the gas chamber from all of their livelihood, their physical possession, which is just that, physical. But these individuals need to be like Haman. And remember, this past week we read about, remember Amalek, what they did to you. Remember Amalek, that they're alive. And they're right there in the very throne of NWO, the New World Order. And they're telling you what they're going to do. They're going to hang you. They're going to kill you. They're going to eliminate you by these different means. And what do? Sheep to the slaughter. Quiet, ignoring. Oh, you're a conspiracy theory. I don't have to be a conspiracy theorist. They've told you already what they're going to do to you. They're going to kill you. This is what they've said already. They want to kill you. Couldn't add guests. I'm sorry, Avi, but I tried to add you. It would not let me. We need to get the word out. The danger is real. And Avi, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you did a video on this, if I'm not mistaken. I wish I could bring you on to talk to you about it. But I believe there is a major threat in the world, and it's not just only Iran wanting to nuke Israel. It's a greater threat than that. And the world leaders in Israel should listen very closely to what I'm going to say now. Especially you, Netanyahu. Bibi, do not play into the hands of the New World Order. You will lose. And you will lose a large number of Israelis. This organization needs to be clearly in focus that they're the greatest threat that humanity has today. And I'm not saying that very lightly. They are a threat worse and beyond that of Iran or the Nazi German that basically slaughtered millions of our people. This is greater than that. And you need to be looking at eliminating this organization from the very face of the world. It's an evil organization made up with people who are just pompous, elitist, but their threats are real. They have the means, the money, and the political connections to achieve what they have said in the Great Reset. Don't take lightly their threats and their agenda in the Great Reset. Schwab, like I said, as a good German, he's going to follow through with what he proposed in his book. And you know what that means? It's nothing good for all of us. He has one thing in mind, and that is global genocide. Bill Gates had the same idea. Too many people on the earth. We've got to eliminate them no matter how. Let's get rid of them. Too many people. We can't support the levels of people on the earth now. We've got to eliminate people. This is a good, just the opposite. It's the greatest evil that this world has seen today under the title of a new world order. Say, it's not a new world order. It's an evil world order. Just like we have a dead justice, office of justice. Just like we have a dead brain that can't think and realize of the great danger that we're in. We're like paralyzed just before the day of slaughter. We need to wake up. And we need not just to talk about it, not just to feel good about it, but to do something about it, to organize. I remember when the Jewish Defense League was organized and was strong, they put actions to the words. Humanity, know who your enemy is. It's the very same people that wants to destroy your life, destroy your freedoms, destroy your liberties. This system of global governance is not the messianic one. Forget it. It's an evil one. It's very similar of the very dark spirit that arises during the time of the attempt to save themselves of the great good that's coming. There is a great good, but before the great good, this great evil is going to try to destroy and unify the world to do destruction that we've never seen before. This is Rabbi Moshe Otero, and I hope and pray this video doesn't get deplatformed or like they always do, but you share it or copy, download it, and share it on your drive so you can share it to others. It's time to organize and act. Stop talking about it, start planning for it, and it's time for things to happen in the real world behind the scenes. Shalom, shalom.